Hello and welcome to what I think is just going to be a autumn/fall TBR. Hello everyone, welcome back to a fictional escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is going to be a combination of like a May and June TBR, so I guess we'll just call it like a fall/April TBR for those in Australia, although I will be going to the UK and it will be summer over there. This year's a bit of a kerfuffle. Now, I didn't make a TBR for April because I just wasn't reading a whole lot outside of quote-unquote obligation reads. So I was reading a arc, which I'm part of like the promotion team for, and that took priority. Also just some beta reads, so I had 2 beta reads that I was doing in April, so it didn't leave a whole lot of time for other just like for fun reading. I managed to get a couple of books in there, but for May and June, like my reading has been relatively slow this year. I'm just kind of leaning into whatever happens. We'll get back to some stability in 2027. So what I have is a list of books that I would like to get to over the next couple of months. Now, granted, Rachel and I will be traveling for the entirety of the month of June, and I'm not sure how much reading will get done there, except for one physical book that I would like to read and potentially one audiobook, but I don't anticipate reading a hell of a lot while we are traveling and sightseeing and doing things like that. So I'm going to combine the two. These are the things that I would like to get done. Some buddy reads, some are just like series continuations, and a lot of these are going to be on audio, as that's where I'm consuming most things outside of like alpha and beta reads currently at the moment. So without any further ado, what am I reading over these next couple of months? Well, one thing which will definitely get finished is going to be Blood of the Spear by Mark Timoney. I've started this one, I'm 30% of the way through. It's definitely on my radar to finish, hopefully this week. At the time of filming, it is the 3rd of May, because I am going to be getting the alpha read for book 2, which is very exciting. So I'll be reading as much of that as humanly possible before we go, and that's going to take most of my priority for the remainder of the month of May, outside of just audiobooks when I'm driving to and from work. So this is on the definite list. I am currently reading it, therefore it will definitely be completed before the end of the month of May. The next thing that I would like to get to, so the next 2 actually are audio, and they're both buddy reads. So the first one is going to be The Tropic of Serpents. This is by Marie Brennan, and I'm buddy reading this one with Roger over at Rogers Reads, and I will hopefully start this one tomorrow. I was meant to start yesterday, just didn't have the spoons, so hopefully tomorrow. Now, I'm pretty confident in my ability to get through this one in about a week. The first book, The Natural History of Dragons, didn't take much longer than that at all. Very easy reads. The narration is fantastic by Kate Redding, and they're not overly fantastical, like they're whimsical and fantastical, but like to the point where there's like not 1,000 people to try and remember and 1,000 different cities and like political machinations and things like that. It may get more complex as the series goes on. I'm not completely sure, but I'm fairly confident in my ability to get that one under my belt in the month of May. Now, the next one is also a buddy read. This is Vile Lady Villians. This is by Denai Christopalau. I hope I pronounced that somewhat correctly. And this is the story of Clytemnestra and also Lady Macbeth in like a fictionalized setting. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I have heard mixed things, so it'll be interesting to see where I fall on this particular story. I think it promises a lot, and maybe some people thought that it didn't deliver on those. I don't know, but I'm genuinely looking forward to giving it a go. I have got this one on audio as well, so I will be doing that one. So those 3, I'm relatively confident will get done in the month of May and moving into June. So other things that I would like to get to over this period of a couple of months. So one is going to be called The Castle of 1,000 Doors. This is by Kenny Gould. I want to say his surname was, hopefully I got that correct. Yes, Kenny Gould. And this is a new to me author. I had a chat with him briefly with Rachel while they were talking about other stuff, and it's a progression fantasy. These are relatively short. I have the audio and the ebook. Now, normally when I'm doing an alpha read, I like to have something on the side to read before bed, because I will generally alpha read on a desktop computer. I can't take that with me like when I go to bed, so I will have an ebook. So this, I think, will fit in nicely in there. I also do have the audio for this one if that is the way that I can fit it in. So this is progression fantasy. I don't know a hell of a lot about it, except it's fun, and one of the characters is a potato. So I don't know, it sounds like a bit of fun. there. Now, another definite, so this is my physical read for June. I was initially going to take a different book, but brain space and sort of traveling to other countries. This is the buddy read for Genre Blender. This is Tigana by Guy Gabriel Kay. I think I've had this on my shelves for an eternity. So I think it's time. So Ryan, we're sort of going one for one, I guess, picking what the other is interested in, and this is my pick for our buddy read. So I'll be taking this one with me. I'm relatively confident I can finish a book in a month, even if we're just traveling, because like when we're in hotels and whatnot, I'm an early riser, Rachel is not, so there'll be little bits of time, little pockets of time that I will get to read, and this is what I'll be doing when I'm reading while we are away. Now, the audiobook I would like to complete in this time period. I do not know if I'll be finished by the end of June, but we're going to give it a red hot crack, and that is The Lost Cube by Phil Tucker. This is book 4 in the Great Immortal Souls series, and it is coming out on audio, I think, on the 26th of May, but I've got it pre-ordered, so I should have it ready to go. And like, we're going to be on planes for a while. Now, I'm awful at audiobook listening on planes. I will fall asleep like that. So if I'm having trouble sleeping, at least I've got the option of listening to that audiobook. So I would like to pick that up and give that a read. Now, there are a couple of things that could potentially be subbed in here, or if I get the time to read more while I'm away, or just in May if I'm sort of blitzing through the things that I have. I don't think I will, but, you know, never say never. I would like to pick up The Broken Sword by L.L. McRae. I'm hoping to meet her when I'm over in the UK, so I think it'd be really cool to have finished that series, and we just got exciting news from her newsletter saying there's a new series starting towards the end of this year, which has nothing to do with this series or with the World of Lunaria, so that's pretty exciting. I do have the ebook of this one, and I would also hopefully get the audio, which I think is coming out quite soon, if not is out already. So potentially that is on the cards as well as a travel book. And then the other one that is another potential is going to be, I just got these special editions in. They are gorgeous. This light's not going to do it justice, but we've got some spread edges as well, is The Cure for the Living by Nicholas Lietzel Part 1. So this is 2 parts. They just couldn't print both parts together, it would be too big. So they are meant to be read together. If I do read this one, then I'll probably do Part 2 when we're back, which is much smaller. This is a chonker. Whoa. But potentially, that is on the cards as well. I will probably buy that in ebook. I'm not carting that around throughout London. So I have the e-copy of that, and like the first book, I own the physical because it's beautiful, but I read it on e-copy, so potentially that'll also be on in my ebook rotation. So I think that's it for May and June. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get through, but those are the plans. These are all things that I'm like actually excited for and gravitating towards as well, so that's kind of good for the mood ready situation that's been going on at the moment. But what are you picking up over these next couple of months? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.